Hi, it's Iyara, Vedic astrologer, with a clip about the lunar eclipse on the day of Lakshmi Jayanti. During the churning of the Milky Ocean, that is the churning of consciousness within us, Lakshmi Devi, the goddess who resides in our heart chakra and helps us to purify it, appeared. She is the embodiment of kindness, compassion, grace, effortlessness, and abundant auspiciousness. Her birthday is celebrated on Phalguna Purnima, the full moon of the month of Phalguna. That is the month that normally ends with the full moon in the constellation of Uttara Phalguni, but sometimes this full moon can also fall in the prior constellation of Purva Phalguni or the next constellation of Hasta. And this full moon that commemorates Lakshmi Devi's birthday and is popularly celebrated as Holi, a joyous, colourful festival that salutes the beginning of springtime and new beginnings in general, falls in the lunar mansion of Hasta, known in the West as the brilliant star Spica in the constellation of Virgo. 3 days after the spring equinox, on March 22nd, this Holi Purnima full moon will shine very brightly in the night sky due to its proximity to Earth, but it will be eclipsed on Monday, March 25th, between 6 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. Central European Time. A lunar eclipse on Monday, the weekday ruled by the moon, is considered auspicious, and more so on Lakshmi Devi's birthday. Yet, at 11 degrees of sideral Virgo, the eclipse does not fall in Uttara or Purva Phalguni, but in the constellation of Hasta, which is known for its fragile psychology. Fragile because the susceptible moon itself rules the very sensitive constellation of Hasta. But Hasta falls in the practical and detail-orientated sign of Virgo, ruled by the very logical and rather aloof Mercury. The sign of Virgo is very perfectionist, hyper-aware of every fault, and always seeking improvement. And that does not leave enough space for the innocent, playful, sensitive child within to be joyous. Hasta's emotional fragility implies feelings of falling short, feelings of failure, self-inadequacy, and self-blame. The week prior to this eclipse, as well as the 2 weeks between this lunar and the upcoming solar eclipse on April 8th, give, therefore, rise to an energy of extreme vulnerability, agitation, and emotional instability. Stress and anxiety make us irritable and may cause depression as well as physical pain, mainly in the spine and in our digestive system. If we have planets, especially our moon, ascendant, sun, a lunar node, or our Atmakaraka planet in sidereal Virgo or in the opposite sign of sidereal Pisces in our natal chart, we may experience this as an overwhelming wave of stress, of burden, of pain. Life pushes us towards evolution, transformation, and change, and we may feel fragile, unstable, and sometimes experience lack of confidence. This lunar eclipse has such a big emotional impact on us, not only because it falls in the fragile constellation of Hasta, but also because it receives a strong aspect from Mars, who slowly approaches Saturn in sideral Aquarius. These two cruel planets sitting together for the first time in 30 years in the constellation of Shatabisha, ruled by Rahu, the lunar north node, and another of the three most fierce planets on the day of the eclipse, intensifies the volatile energy of unsteadiness, as well as feelings of anguish and sadness, of being trapped somehow in an inner or outer situation. The life force within, our divine essence, and the little child that lost its innocence crave for liberation. But there are also internal control structures in place, most of them based on fear, the fear of losing something or someone, of being alone, fear of rejection and death. And we learn to fit in, to believe that we are small, limited, lost, powerless, unworthy, perhaps evil. Those of us with important natal placements in sidereal Aquarius or in the opposite sign of Leo may experience this battle very strongly. There is so much pressure on our system that the cork wants to pop off the bottle and liberate what was repressed for such a long time. But unfortunately, it is easy to imagine how that intense energy may play out in the world when unconscious people and political leaders project these feelings onto others, because projection is a defense mechanism of how to cope with unpleasant emotions and too much pressure. Huge conflicts can arise and certain boundaries may be crossed. Transgression of borders, of codes of conduct, and violations of the law may manifest in the world. But for those of us who are on a spiritual path and dedicated to inner work, this eclipse is an enormous and auspicious game changer if we remain conscious and aligned with the divine. This is the perfect moment in time to connect with Lakshmi Ma, the divine mother, who in this loving form of Lakshmi Devi makes our path smoother, brings softness to what is harsh and sweetness to what became bitter. Lakshmi Devi helps us to open our heart and surrender to love and faith and healing. She assists us in embodying the qualities of kindness, compassion, grace, and effortlessness. Her mantra that we should chant every afternoon around sunset, increasing the repetitions perhaps from 10 minutes to half an hour in the days around the eclipse, is Om Rim Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Rim Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Rim Mahalakshmi Namaha. And we can visualize her seated on the lotus flower of our heart chakra while we breathe consciously in and out through the heart. And in the mornings, especially during the hours of the eclipse, we chant the Gayatri mantra that dispels all negative thoughts and erroneous ideas. and is dedicated to the sun god Savitur, the god of the first rays of the morning sun, who dwells in the constellation of Hasta. Savitur is known as a golden-handed miracle maker whose golden light energizes, revitalizes, and heals the different layers of our body, the vehicle of our soul in this lifetime. During an eclipse, an alignment between Ketu, the lunar south node, seated in our root chakra, where he goes deeper within, and Rahu seated in our third eye chakra, wanting to go higher up, can happen if our awareness is focused on Sushumna Nadi and on the divine forces that are very present in that special moment in time to propel us further on our evolutionary path. Therefore, if possible, we should stay at home during the hours of the eclipse, in meditation, contemplation, and chanting the two aforementioned mantras, without looking at the eclipse, nor drinking or eating. If lived with awareness, this lunar eclipse can be very healing and is the prelude to a completely new beginning that will unfold with the upcoming solar eclipse on April 8, 2024. Many blessings and see you soon.